How about a calculator? Is that a strategy? No, a calculator is a tool. It's not a strategy. All right. How about compensation? It's a strategy. Oh, Giselle's hand is raised. Giselle, you have something to say about compensation? Checking for understanding is really important during a lesson, because if you don't know where scholars are as you progress through, you're going to assume that everything is fine. You're going to get to the end, you're going to give them a quiz, and everybody's going to fail. And you're going to wonder, what went wrong? Whereas if you check throughout the lesson all of the progress very often, repeatedly throughout the lesson, you will have a better understanding of this component was missed or this component was understood, so I can move on. And if it was a missed piece, you can go back and attack it right then. Whereas if you wait until later, you might not realize where the error was. I used thumbs up, thumbs down to the side to sort of determine what their understanding was of a concept or of my directions even. And I also used, I believe it's called fist to 5. So there's a spectrum of 1 to 5, and then where do they lie on that spectrum? Okay, so now we're going to test each strategy. I'd like to see where you fall. Expanded algorithm. Okay, if you're a 1, I want you to glance around and look for somebody near you who's a 5. See any 5s? All right. Keep that person in mind when you need to do an expanded algorithm. Next. Based on the information that they gave me for which strategies they felt they were fully proficient in and that they thought they were an expert and could actually teach, as compared to all the other different levels, the ones that the majority of the class thought that they were an expert and could teach or could at least solve independently without any assistance, I didn't feel the need to revisit those today. However, I pulled scholars for small group according to the strategies at which they identified themselves a 1 or a 2 where they were really struggling, and that actually identified 2 separate strategies on which we needed to focus. So I had the scholars who didn't need help with that strategy working independently, while the ones who did need help come back to the small table.